Screws are a pretty important piece of lightsaber hilt design, and they often provide function, and they will also either add to or detract from the overall appearance of the hilt. So I thought we could get a discussion going on kind of screws as they relate to the overall appearance of the hilt. So a lot of lightsaber hilts will have a blade retention screw, and that will be something toward the top of a hilt. And that can vary. So like on this Ultra Saber's hilt, this blade retention screw is very prominent and it kind of protrudes out of the hilt. A lot of other lightsaber hilts, it'll be a little bit more of a subtle kind of retention screw, and it'll often be kind of a flat set screw that doesn't protrude out of the hilt. But if you're going to be dueling with the lightsaber, chances are you're going to have a blade retention screw. That'll be a necessary thing. Another common screw you'll see is the cover tech wheel screw. So the screw that attaches the cover tech wheel to the hilt, if you have a hilt with a cover tech wheel, that is. But a lot of other hilt designs, they'll just have different screws all over the hilt. And, one screw that's pretty famous is kind of the thumb screw on the Obi-Wan Kenobi style hilts, so like the prequel trilogy ones. And depending on the manufacturer of the Obi-Wan Kenobi style hilt, sometimes it's just sort of a decorative greebly, kind of like this one, this Ultra Saber's one. Other times, here's kind of a similar thumb screw on a Darth Maul style hilt. This is a Parks saber, and these are actually functional. So you'll see that too. Sometimes screws will be functional in that way. But a lot of people like the red kind of buttons, the red button look of different lightsabers. Sometimes people, I know lightsaber enthusiasts, don't like certain types of screws. So like if they look too real world, which, well, I don't know. I mean, most screws really look very real world. But here, an interesting thing I wanted to point out by this Corran Horn style lightsaber hilt, this is from Solo's Hold. The design specifically has different screws on either side of the hilt here, and that's just incorporated into the design. So it's meant to kind of have. So it doesn't look quite symmetrical. So if you choose to have different screws like that, that makes your design more asymmetrical. So that's definitely something to consider. Some configurations of Graflex style lightsabers, it's pretty important to have the screws in the notched T-track grip area, because that's how you know that, say this hilt is an Empire Strikes Back configuration of the Graflex style lightsaber hilt versus the New Hope style, which doesn't have the notches or the screws there. So what do you guys think about screws and how they're incorporated into lightsaber hilt design? I know, when you see especially sellers or manufacturers that design a hilt, the same hilt style, and they interpret it in their own ways. Some designs will have more visible screws than others, and I know that's a big deal for a lot of people to kind of minimize the outer appearance of screws, unless they're really kind of adding to the design rather than kind of taking away from it. So when are there too many screws on a lightsaber hilt? When are there not enough? Let's talk about this a little bit. Feel free to comment below.